For generations, a dense cultural fog has shrouded female sexuality. This mist historically reduced female pleasure to a mystery, taboo, or byproduct of procreation. But when we clear that mist, the ambiguity vanishes. We are left with the hard science of the physical response, a process that is not a mystery at all. The core mechanism of the peak experience is the rapid, rhythmic release of accumulated neuromuscular tension. This tension is the electrical and physical energy that builds up in the nerves and muscles during arousal. This graph illustrates the primary physical signature of that release. The pelvic floor muscles contract at a frequency of approximately 0.8 seconds. While the number of contractions varies, this rhythm remains remarkably consistent. Despite centuries of confusion, the foundational mechanics of female pleasure are as precise and measurable as any other vital biological function. To understand the full spectrum of female capability, we have to categorize these responses by their origin and where they are localized in the body. Pleasure is classified by its source: coital, occurring during intercourse, or extracoital, arising from masturbation or physical activities like rhythmic horse riding. This chart shows the statistical breakdown of physical localization. The clitoral region is the most common, at 40 to 56%, followed by vaginal localization at 33 to 37%. The experience also varies in flow, contrasting a short-term, peak-shaped release with a protracted wave-like sensation. This repeating waveform represents about 5% of women, possessing the natural capacity for multiple continuous peaks without returning to a resting state. If the biology is this straightforward and well-documented, why does sexual fulfillment remain so elusive for so many? The explanation for this disconnect lies in a concept known as the 70-30 rule. This model illustrates the exact proportions of intimacy. The physical body accounts for roughly 30% of the experience, while the mind governs 70%. This means a physically strong or technical sensation can feel entirely empty if the emotional connection is cold. Conversely, a physically weak sensation can feel like a significant emotional milestone when a woman is deeply in love and psychologically immersed. This is a result of human evolution separating biological procreation from hedonistic pleasure. Hedonistic pleasure is the pursuit of enjoyment for its own sake. This shift transformed raw drive into the complexity of human love. Ultimately, a woman's orgasmic capacity acts as a barometer for her internal emotional state and her sense of worth. This psychological command center is built upon the baseline of a woman's self-esteem. Self-esteem relies on three pillars: unconditional love, which is often rooted in childhood; respect, which is earned through growth; and the ability to accept criticism without self-destruction. When fulfillment is lacking, the instinct is often to blame a partner or external circumstances. However, seeking a new partner frequently results in the same patterns repeating if the internal state hasn't changed. The real barriers are mental debris, the irrational thoughts and inherited complexes that block intimacy. This illustration represents that debris. It includes destructive beliefs, such as the idea that a partner is solely responsible for one's pleasure, or that every experience must be perfect. Attempting to fix the situation by changing partners often fails to provide lasting satisfaction if these internal mental barriers are left unaddressed. To regain agency, a woman must recognize that her brain interprets sensory data through her own internal filters. She must identify irrational beliefs and replace them with rational ones, claiming responsibility for her own feelings. A practical tool for this shift is the 4 positives exercise. For every negative event or thought, she must force her brain to explicitly identify 4 positive outcomes or lessons. This practice stops the leakage of energy spent defending a fragile ego, shifting the mind from a state of lack to a state of abundance. The term orgasmic woman refers to a mastery over one's thoughts and self-worth as much as it does physical sensation. When this sexual energy is reclaimed and preserved, it refuses to remain confined to the bedroom. This internal confidence becomes a magnetic force that fuels a woman's business, her relationships, and her creative projects. Taking ownership of pleasure is a foundational step in building a more capable, radiant version of herself. Discover the secrets to nurturing your lifestyle and love style at Wish for Love. The electronic version of all chapters from the full book, She Who Awakens by Alina Chamberlain, can be found at wishforlove.org.